Hello everyone, this is Yoshito Dorman Shimamori, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm the founder of the Library for Multilinguals, and on this channel I'm going to share with you tips about how to teach your child to read and write in your home languages. And today I'd like to talk about how we can establish a reading routine. So once your child starts to be able to read a bit in your language, it's really important to keep practicing, because as we all know, practice makes perfect. And unfortunately, right at the beginning, this is all down to you. You will have to be consistent to create opportunities for your child to be able to practice, to read in their different languages. And the best way to keep practicing is to create a routine, a reading routine. Why are routines so important? A routine enables you to allocate a certain time for this practice every day, every week, every second day. And also because it becomes a habit, it becomes more and more natural, easier and easier every time you do it. So consistency is this magical word we hear all the time that enables us to accomplish anything. But what really makes consistency possible is routines. So today in this video, I'd like to talk about three things. The first thing is how to establish a routine. The second thing will be how you can create this environment for your child to want to read. And the third thing, which is quite important, is how you can make your child an ally on this journey to multiliteracy, which means that it won't be all down to you, but your child will be here to help you help them learn to read and write. So first, you need to establish the routine itself. So what are you going to do? At what frequency? When? This is all very important. And you create this environment where it becomes natural for a child to read, and then when they be able to read on their own, they'll carry on reading, practicing their reading skills, and even writing. So the first step is to establish the routine. So knowing what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, at what frequency, these are all very important. And once this is established, your child will carry on naturally, and it will be less and less on you, but it will be more on them, and they will want to carry on their own. So it's important to have the right routine. So routines can be linked to two kinds of things. Either it can be time-bound, or it can be linked to another activity. So when it's time-bound, it's, for example, when you read bedtime stories every evening. It's important to mention that it's not just a habit that's going to help your child read more and more, but it's also a time where you can spend with your child. Especially if you're a working parent, you probably spend the whole day outside and you don't see much your child. So in the evening, it's a time where you can connect with your child, and even if it's a bit hectic, you have to bathe them, cook, eat, etc. At least during the bedtime story, that's a privileged moment that you can spend with your child on a one-to-one. And as a working parent, it's certainly something that I enjoy every day and that I really want to do every day, and they want to do it. So if one day it's missing, we both feel that something is missing. So we try to spend at least 10 minutes every day to read. And it's that precious moment we spend on a daily basis. You can also extend that. So for example, in the morning, I'm sure your children like to wake up early at 6, 7 o'clock, maybe earlier, and you would prefer to be staying in bed. So a nice thing to do is to keep some books on the side of your bed, so that when your child wakes up and comes to you to wake up, to play with them, you can say, oh, do you want to read this book? And then you can spend some more time lying in bed. And you see that once they start being able to read on their own, they still come and they read on their own, but at least you have some more time in the morning on the weekend. So instead of waking up at 6 in the morning, you wake up at 6:30. That's a little win. Also very important to keep in mind is that kind of routine, reading with them, is something you can start very, very early. I remember with my sons, when they were babies, that they couldn't even sit straight. I would lie down in bed or on the floor next to them, reading books, and for them, look at these colorful images and me saying different things with different voices was just exciting and fun for them, even if they didn't understand what I was reading at all. For us, it was also a time to connect, not necessarily to read, but really to connect together. So associating these positive feelings with books, stories, reading is something very important to develop from the beginning. And if you didn't have the habit of doing that, just start doing it and you see that very quickly it will happen. Activity-bound routines could be anything where you have a trigger activity that leads you to reading books. So, for example, it could be if your children are going to extracurricular activities, one does it, the other is waiting with you, you could be reading during that time. Another thing could be when, for example, with my sons, when we're playing outside and it starts raining, we rush home, and then it's really nice for us to see the rain outside. Then we decide to drink a hot chocolate, and we like to be in bed reading when it's raining, cold outside. So the rain now is creating this atmosphere where we want to read together. The second thing I wanted to talk about is about designing the environment. So at home, it's quite important to create a space for them where they can read. You can read with them, but it's mainly a space for them to read books. And it can take different shapes and sizes, but I would say there are three things that are important to have in that space. First, it's soft material, cushions, blankets that are soft and that they will want to sit on and read books. The second thing is a little shelf. It doesn't need to be big. It's really to display the main books that your child will want to read. So you don't want to put all their books in that space. It's just really a selection for them to pick, or maybe to rediscover a book they haven't seen, they haven't read for a while. And the last thing, of course, is their favorite books. So let them choose some of the books they want in that space, but you can also add some. So for example, what we do, if I see that there are too many English books, so the school language for our sons, I'm going to pick a few books that I think they're going to enjoy in French or Korean. And also, if there is a new book, I leave it there for them to discover. So in our home, as you can see, it's just really their bed, and behind there's a shelf where they can display the books they want to read. So this is all nice to create this atmosphere, making them want to read, but then reading and writing is not really like acquiring a language. You can't just be listening to your parents reading and just pick it up like that. You have to learn it. The learning can be very varied. It can be very studious or very playful, on the desk or on the floor, outside, etc. That really depends on you, on your style, on your child's personality, their age as well. But it's important to try to get your child to want to do these activities. So what we've done in our family is really to try to make it play-based. Generally, reading and writing is done through games. Then there are other opportunities as well, of course. They attend a Korean Saturday school, so they have homework as well. But generally, I would say it's play-based. And that means that because they know it's going to be playful, they also want to do it. So maybe if on a weekend I don't really want to spend time preparing things, I'm not feeling particularly motivated, my sons are going to ask me to do it. So to want to do this activity, you see that it won't just be on you. Your child will say, oh, what we're going to do today. And it will help you to keep going. So on the days they don't want to do it, you can make it playful. On other days, when you be feeling a bit tired, that's when your child is going to ask you to do it. So in the end, you manage to practice more than if it was really just on your own. So it's important to get your child to be an ally, to help you help them. And in the end, what's good as well with this play-based learning is that first, they don't really see that they're making an effort. They Even if it's difficult, they want to make the effort. A second thing that's really important is that all the learning is happening as a consequence of the game. So in the game, they read, they write, and that's going to make the game possible, so they will want to do it. And if you want to find ideas of that kind of activities, and if you want some ideas of games to read and write in your home language, you can check out my books, The Parent's Guide to Raising Multilingual Children, where there are more than 70 activities to help you organize these activities, and you'll be able to find on my website a resources pack with loads of activities to help you cut down on the time to prepare these activities. So, to sum it up, you have a few key points to remember. So the first thing, the most important thing we've talked about today, is really to establish this reading routine. And it's important to keep in mind the positive link you're going to create between your child and reading, writing in your home languages. The second thing is to create a space where your child will want to go and read. And of course, if you want them to read in your home language, it's important to provide them with books that they would be interested in. You can read them first to them, then you can read together, and they can read on their own after. But overall, when you're going to be teaching them to read and write, really try to make them want to learn to read and write so that, as I said, they can become allies on this journey to multilingual literacy. I hope this video gave you a few tips to help your child on their multilingual journey. And if you liked it, consider subscribing to the channel. Have fun!